Hello, welcome back to my channel and a special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach. Today, we're going to talk about the worst frozen foods in America. So if you want to hear all about the worst frozen foods, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your bell notification is turned on because I do upload new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Check out that description box down below for nutrition coaching. I do offer personalized to you macros and calories, as well as one-on-one coaching if you would like to chat with me directly. Links, discounts to my favorite healthy things are also down in that description box. So let's jump into the worst of the worst frozen foods in America and why. So before we get started on today's video, I want to put out a little bit of a disclaimer. No food is bad or good. Food is fuel. Food is used for Food is used to nourish our body, and there are no foods that are off limits. However, there are healthier foods than others. Whether they be processed foods, unprocessed foods, there are always healthier alternatives out there. The frozen foods that I'll be sharing with you today aren't off limits, and you shouldn't avoid these completely, but these should be foods that you eat sparingly because there are healthier options out there. Knowledge is power, and I want to make sure that you're armed with as much knowledge as possible when you're doing your grocery shopping so that you can make healthier choices. So with the disclaimer out of the way, we're going to share the worst frozen foods in America. Let's start with breakfast because we all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So one of the worst frozen options for breakfast comes from Jamba Juice, which you may be thinking, I thought Jamba Juice smoothies were healthy. The mango a-go-go, not so healthy. You may be thinking, I had a smoothie for breakfast, I made a good decision, and maybe you did depending on what is in your smoothie. The issue is a lot of these to-go smoothie packets contain a lot of added sugar, a lot of chemicals, and food colorings. Sometimes the fruit itself in these packages is sweetened with sugar, and we know that fruit is naturally sweet, so I'm not sure why we feel the need to add more sugar. So instead of picking up these, even though they're convenient prepackaged smoothie options, make your own at home. Use fresh fruit, use a good almond milk or low-fat milk, add in some veggies. You can use cauliflower rice, spinach, or kale, blend it up at home, and you can even throw in a scoop of protein powder to really up your smoothie game. But maybe skipping over these pre-portioned out, pre-frozen fruit options like this Jamba Juice mango might be a good idea. Number 2 comes from Bob Evans, and this is his sausage and potato breakfast bowl. This breakfast bowl has 440 calories, 25 grams of fat, and 12 are saturated. Not to mention there's almost 1,500 milligrams of sodium in this 440 calorie packed breakfast bowl. So you're probably wondering what is in this breakfast bowl. Sausage, eggs, potatoes, and cheese. Because of all of those ingredients and this being heavily processed, it is very high in sodium, very, very high in fat, and really high even in saturated fat. And 440 calories for breakfast is a lot, especially when it comes in a processed frozen breakfast bowl. Now, number 3 might come as a little bit of a surprise, and this is the Lean Pockets sausage, egg, and cheese. You might be thinking, Lean Pockets, this is low calorie, this is healthy, but sometimes marketing can sway us into thinking something's healthy when it's really not healthy. And this goes for a lot of the frozen meals on the market as well. Just because it has the word healthy or lean in it doesn't necessarily make it healthy or lean. Each one of these little breakfast pockets are 280 calories, and they're small. And I don't know about you, but I could easily eat 2 of those for breakfast. They have 380 milligrams of sodium per pocket and 41 grams of carbohydrates. That's a lot of carbohydrates to start your day, especially when they're processed and not nutrient dense carbohydrates. And lastly, with these little lean pockets, there's a measly 1 gram of fiber. And we know that fiber keeps us full. So you're definitely not starting your day off on the best foot when you're eating something that is high in sodium, high in calories, high in carbs, and really, really lacking in fiber. You can easily make your own breakfast sandwiches or wraps at home. You can wrap them in foil and freeze them and warm them up just like you would one of these lean pockets, and it's a much healthier option. Number 4 are the Pillsbury Apple Toaster Strudels. Not necessarily just the apple, but any of the toaster strudels. 2 of these toaster strudels is 350 calories. 350 empty calories, 13 grams of fat, 59 grams of carbohydrates, and 29 grams of sugar. These toaster strudels have a lot of sugar, a lot, and they don't have nearly enough protein or fiber to keep you full. And this is just full of processed, not good for you ingredients. It's basically like you stopped at your local donut shop and got a donut for breakfast. Now, I've had donuts for breakfast, but I'll tell you that I'm hungry within an hour because there's not enough substance in a donut or toaster strudel pastry to keep you full. Number 5 may come as a little bit of a surprise to you. You may be thinking this is a good option, and this is the Eggo Nutrigreen Waffles. 2 waffles is 170 calories, definitely more reasonable in the calories for breakfast. They contain 26 grams of carbs and 2 grams of sugar. And even though it's Nutrigrain and even though it's whole grain, it's just a processed, fast metabolizing carbohydrate. Now, if you want to have waffles for breakfast, my recommendation for you would be to make sure that you're pairing those with another macronutrient or macronutrients, whether that be protein, fat, or both. That way you're not just eating a carb-filled processed breakfast. There are a lot of better frozen waffle options out there. Make sure you look at the nutritional label and find one that actually contains some fiber that will help keep you full. Number 6 are the White Castle frozen breakfast sliders. Now you're probably thinking they're sliders, they're little tiny breakfast sandwiches. How bad can they be? A serving is 2 sandwiches and it's 510 calories. 510. 36 grams of fat, 13 are saturated, 1,200 grams of sodium in 2 little slider breakfast sandwiches, 30 carbs and 19 grams of protein. What these sliders have going for them is at least they have an adequate amount of protein. They're so small. We know sliders are so small, and I know 2. And you might be thinking 2 little sliders, that's it for breakfast. Remember how many calories these pack, how much fat these pack, and really most disturbing about these is how much sodium is in 2 little breakfast sliders. Again, you're better off making your own breakfast sandwich at home, refrigerating it or freezing it. You control what goes into it, including how much sodium. Number 7 is back to waffles. This time we're going to talk about the Eggo blueberry waffles from Kellogg's. 2 waffles is 180 calories, 29 grams of carbohydrates, and 6 grams of sugar. That doesn't sound so bad, but remember, this is a processed, fast digesting carbohydrate. If you choose to eat these, again, my recommendation would be to pair them with healthy fats, protein, or both. But really what's concerning about these waffles is these are blueberry waffles, and blueberries are the 15th ingredient on the list. Enough said. Number 8 is the Jimmy Dean's Meat Lovers Breakfast Bowl. Similar to the Bob Evans, this just isn't the best quality breakfast. One bowl has 480 calories, 37 grams of fat, 15 of those are saturated, 1,500 milligrams of sodium. That's where these breakfast bowls just get you. One breakfast bowl has more than half of your daily recommended intake of sodium, and we've only started our day, we've only had breakfast. By trying to limit how much sodium we're consuming in the first meal of the day, opens up sodium to be spread out throughout the day, which is better for our body and helps us make healthier food choices overall. Make your own breakfast bowl at home. It's eggs, a meat, and a potato. You can easily prep that in advance. Number 9 is the Great Value Parma Melt Sandwich. Now, I shared this in my video that I recently did of the worst Walmart brand foods. I'll go ahead and link that video down below if you haven't seen it. And these Parma Melts are landing on 2 of the worst lists. One of these little sandwiches is 540 calories, 27 grams of fat, 11 grams of saturated fat, and again, the sodium content is insane. 1,200 milligrams of sodium and 48 grams of carbs. Back to the old saying, make your own breakfast sandwiches at home. You can recreate this exact same sandwich if you love this flavor combination at home and save yourself the fat, the saturated fat, and the sodium. Number 10 comes from Hot Pockets, and this is their Applewood bacon, egg, and cheese pockets. 290 calories a piece, 11 grams of fat, 5 grams saturated, 620 milligrams of sodium, and 37 grams of carbohydrates. With these sandwiches, the biggest issue besides, of course, the fat, the carbohydrates, the sodium, is that this particular little croissant crusted breakfast sandwich is going to leave you with 0 nutritional value. So again, you're starting your day out with a very fast metabolizing, fast-acting carbohydrate. It's not going to keep you full for very long, and these are just as small as the lean pockets, so a lot of people will even have 2 of these to make themselves satisfied and full for breakfast. So that's double the sodium, fat, and carbohydrates. Number 11 is the Jimmy Dean Southern Style Chicken Biscuits. This is another pre-made breakfast sandwich. 310 calories, 13 grams of fat, 5 of those are saturated, 770 milligrams of sodium, and 35 grams of carbs. Again, it's the sodium that's killing you in this super small sandwich. Most people would again have to eat 2 of these to be full and satisfied. Granted, you are getting in some protein, but the sodium and the carbohydrates and the lack of quality carbohydrates makes this not a good option. Now, number 12 may even be more surprising than some of the other ones on this list because it comes from Amy's, which is an organic, relatively healthy frozen food option. And this is her Mexican breakfast bake. Each bowl has about 430 calories, 22 grams of fat, 780 milligrams of sodium, and 36 grams of carbs. Now, this bowl features good things like potatoes, black beans, and tofu. So you might be thinking this is a healthy option, right? But unfortunately, its high sodium count and its high fat count make this not as healthy as a lot of the other Amy's organic options out there. She has a lot of frozen burritos, breakfast, lunch, otherwise, that are really good, full of good ingredients, but this one you could skip over and find a healthier Amy's option. Number 13 is the Great Value Monte Cristo sandwich. This is another one that fell on the worst list of Walmart foods. 420 calories, 19 grams of fat, half of that, 8 grams, is saturated, 1,120 milligrams of sodium, 46 carbs, and 19 grams of sugar in a breakfast sandwich. Bacon, cheese, strawberry jam between 2 slices of French toast. Sounds pretty delicious, but the sodium content alone in this is just excessive. It's just something that you don't want to include into your breakfast routine on a regular basis. Again, make your own breakfast sandwich at home. You could actually recreate this for much less calories, sodium, fat, and carbohydrates. So those are all of the worst breakfast frozen food options. Now, this list contains 100 frozen foods in multiple categories, everything from frozen entrees to breakfast to pasta dishes. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to continue this series. We can cover each section in a separate video, starting with breakfast and carrying us through all of the worst frozen foods in America. So definitely let me know down in the comments if you want to see a part 2 of today's video. If you enjoyed it and you found it helpful, it's going to help you make healthier choices in the future. Don't forget to give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. I would love to have you here. I do upload every Tuesday and Thursday, so turn your bell on so you never miss a single video. Check out that description box down below again for nutrition coaching, links and discounts to some of my favorite healthy things, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.